Hi everyone, my name is Jasmine Paola. In this video, my classmates and I want to talk about what's mean interlanguage, and we will show some analysis of interlingual and interlingual errors of some students. Interlanguage is the process in which the learner mixes elements of the mother tongue and the second or foreign language. We can say in language learning, learners' errors are caused by several different processes. These include borrowing patterns from the mother tongue, second, extending pattern from the target language. Third, expressing meanings using the words and grammar which are already known.
Developmental errors, known as intralingual, are those made by students, regardless of their first language, and cannot be explained by transfer, but rather as a result of the strategies used in the acquisitions of the second language. In this case, we find transfer of training, produced by the teacher received by the student, since she knows the answer but confused the structure. With this worksheet, we find a different example where an interlingual error is evidenced by literal translations, where the instructor of Spanish is kept to write a sentence in English. There is also an error by transfers in a preposition, in this case, to. In this case, we find several examples of interlingual errors by omissions of a pronoun such as it, by additions in a preposition such as of, and grammar criterion error by spelling. Finally, in this worksheet, we have interlingual error by omissions of the pronoun it, addition error by placing the negative terminations when it's not necessary, and error by false selections where a preposition is wrongly chosen.
This classwork was done by Fernanda Morales. She studies aerobic dance. We focus on point number 3. Here, Fernanda had to answer some questions regarding Alfred's daily routine. At the moment, we see 5 interlingual errors of grammar, morphology, error in the use of preposition. In the last point, Fernanda has an interlingual error where it reflects that she doesn't know some grammar rules because she wrote I'm lifts, and a correct form is I live in. In the last point, Fernanda has an interlingual error where it reflects that she doesn't know some grammar rules because she wrote I am lives, but the correct form is I live.
Hi Jacqueline, tell us how long have you studied English?
Hello. Let me see. I can't tell you because my first time that I studied English was at school, but I consider that I didn't learn much at that time. Then I had some attempts with private English teachers. With them, I didn't learn much either.
When did you start interacting in a real way with the English language?
It was with the music. I listened to rock music records, and although I didn't know what the lyrics said, and so I was getting some vocabulary.
And then that followed.
Then I tried virtual classes at Sena. I made a couple of models. I learned some basic grammar rules, but I stopped studying and I forgot almost everything. Then I entered an English institute where I did almost all English levels. I can say that I speak English now, but now but not in a fluent way. If I were in another country, it will be very difficult for me to communicate. I think I don't have the professional level.
We can see that the student has had several stages of relationship and learning with the English language. In his first stage, which was in the school, there was no real interest in learning the language. He acquired some vocabulary that was forgotten over time. In his second stage, a certain interest awoke since music helped create this incentive. After entering the institute, here he paused but managed to complete all levels of English. He states that his level of English is not enough to develop professionally. This is an obvious case of fossilization since the student has been in a species many times to come and go in his learning process but has not reached the highest level of learning.
It is important to note that the structures that are developed in the process of learning a second language, in addition to make a dynamic and practical process that helps students improve and obtain better results.